Hello and welcome to the Federal. Today in our studios we have with us Dr. Sridhar Krishnaswamy, journalist, academician and expert in international relations who has been covering US for past about 3 decades. Right? Today we'll be talking about President Trump's visit to India. Yeah, I was just coming to that. How significant is this in context of this being, I mean, both we had the impeachment trials recently and we also have the election. So how important are people of Indian origin who are in the US? I mean, my understanding, and correct me if I was wrong, was that predominantly Indians go with Democrats, right? Things like immigration, things like some of their welfare and stuff like that, right? So how is this? For example, President Trump himself said he's going to have a huge, practically the entire population of the district of Ahmedabad receiving him, and that's something very interested to
Yeah,
know
Mr.
more.
Trump personally likes boisterous rallies where he can hold the center stage. This is very significant for him. As you correctly said, there are close to 4 million Indian Americans who are in the United States. And many of them are Democrats, but many of them are also Republicans. And even within the Republican supporters, there are a lot of fat cats who pump in a lot of money during the electoral process. So here we are looking at Trump having that aspect in mind. And remember, he is coming away as an energized person. He has just been acquitted in the Senate
The impeachment.
of the 2 impeachment articles. That was a long process that we knew what the result would be when it first started, that it's never going to sail the Senate. It's purely partisan. And some people say that Mr. Trump has actually gained out of it. In fact, the latest public opinion survey says that during the last stages of the impeachment in the Senate, impeachment trial in the Senate, Mr. Trump's popularity actually went up 7 percentage points to the point after, that is doing towards the last stages. Okay. Today, his popularity rating is 49%, or the highest it has been since he assumed office in 2017, January 20. So you're looking at a visit that is personally of a lot of importance to him, and in the message that he is going to convey to his constituency. The bulk of it need not be Indian American, but he is also telling the Indian American community there, hey, listen, this is election year for me. I took the time out to visit India for 2 days. Yeah. And if you take in the travel time together, it will be about 3.5 days. That's a lot of time for an American president to be away from his country.
Okay, so that will be very interesting to watch. Just a little bit more on the trade deal, because people are going about talking about things like defense deals, energy deals, special deal for India,
trade deals are very difficult to sew together in a short notice. And yes, defense, of course, they are saying they're talking about purchase of some American helicopters. And as far as even since the Bush administration, India's purchase of defense equipments from the US has been on the upswing. We have bought C-17, C-5s, Sikorsky helicopters, Apache helicopters. And apparently this time during the Trump visit, we are going to buy another assortment of helicopters to the tune of about $3 to $5 billion. But trade deals, you see, there is a lot of apprehension within the Trump administration that Mr. Modi's Make in India is triggering India to be protectionist. Okay, so that is the mindset that has been set by this Make in India. Now, if Mr. Trump insists on Make in America and Buy American,
Yeah, very true.
you know, so where does that put, I mean, his slogan, it is equally protectionist then.
MAGA.
Yeah, so MAGA, make America great again, you know. So here we have to get through, we have to sift out the rhetoric and the reality. And the reality is such that you cannot strike a trade deal, whether it is mini or mega, in just one sitting. It is very difficult. It will take a lot of time, but I'm sure over a period of time they will get over this.
No, so, for example, this priority watch list on intellectual property rights and things, these are small, could we say, irritants which can actually get sorted.
No, these are not, these are major irritants, my friend, because the USTR has long listed India as a country in that top priority list, watch list. And they are threatening to slap sanctions under 301 of that, of the USTR on intellectual property rights. Now, gone are the days when people are looking at India for CDs and wristwatches and handbags. You know, we have come into a bigger, what shall I say, we are playing bigger leagues now. We are playing IPR. They got genuine, I don't know how genuine it is, but the US has got concern about pharmaceuticals. They have problems with India as far as agricultural chemicals. So they want to tighten up, many issues. And I think the USTR is hopeful this time of striking some kind of a deal as far as intellectual property rights is concerned. But yes, the list is long. In fact, in the priority watch list, there are about 12 to 15 countries. And we have been in that watch list for quite a long time. And then the priority watch list and then watch list. I think Pakistan is in the watch list, and we are one step ahead of Pakistan. They put us number one. And I think in our category, they have China and one or two countries in the Middle East. Indonesia is one of them, I think. So the list is long, but they are also confident that we can sit through, talk, and at least make a beginning into compliance with the IPR regimes.
With that optimistic note, thank you for having come to our studios and tried to simplify a rather very complex topic with so much of nuance involved. Thank you once again.
Thank you for having me here. It's always a pleasure.